Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the best 10 star powers in the game right now. So last season, there was a massive coin shortage. And then inside of this season, everyone seems to have a lot of coins. Well, starting to get a lot of coins because of mastery. So let me know whether you want to see these type of videos still. But also, just leave all your video suggestions in the comment section below. And also, we have the tier list coming tomorrow. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So starting off with one of the best star powers in the game easily right now, we have a Gasser Heal. So still in every meta, I recommend maxing out Stu and getting his star power because Gasser Heal is really going to help you out, especially with a lot of aggression. The 400 healing per super, it's going to be really good, especially if you can get multiple dashes with one piece of ammo. You're going to be healing quite a fair bit. And if you're wondering how good Stu is in the meta as well, he's definitely one of the best brawlers in the game right now. He's actually got better with tanks because if you think about it, Stu actually gets his super a lot more frequently when there's tanks in and around him. Normally his biggest weakness by far is brawlers that outrange him. So Gasser Heal and Stu are just a match made in heaven. So next up on the star powers that you must have this season, we have Bee's Honeycomb. But to be honest, both star powers are actually really good. Depends on your playstyle, but Honeycomb, competitively speaking, is the better star power. It gives you a 30% shield when you have your big shot available. The main reason why this is so good, because as a bee, it can allow you to get a lot more aggressive, tank a lot more shots, and specifically when there's a certain brawler that will counter you, I don't know, like a long range brawler that can 2-shot you, or even Sprout that can 3-shot you, that extra shield is definitely really strong. So Honeycomb's really going to be helping you out, and of course, be one of the best brawlers in the game. You're always going to get value out of that star power. So moving into the next star power, which is definitely a must-have, especially with Mandy, it is In My Sights. So In My Sights makes it so when you're fully focused with Mandy, it will travel 20% faster. So on the face of it, it may not see them strongest, but with Mandy, especially at max range, and especially when you play it on a more so open map, like Shooting Star, out in the open, this star power is going to allow you to really dominate, and especially against brawlers that like 3600 HP, she can 2-tap people so quickly. I just feel like this star power is definitely needed for Mandy. Without it, she just doesn't have the slaying power, and she's nowhere near as strong. And with it, she's actually one of the best brawlers within those game modes, Bounty and Knockout. So next up, we have Lou again, and his star power, Hypothermia. So Hypothermia is actually so incredibly underrated, actually one of the best star powers in the game in my opinion. So the main reason why it's so strong is because it reduces the enemy damage by up to 50%, depending on how much they're frozen. But all you need is a little bit of a frozen meter on them, and that's really going to help you in the game. And especially if they're nearly frozen, you know, for example, I've had Amber who deals 300 damage per shot, and then I was nearly frozen by Lou, and I was only dealing like 180 damage, something like that. It felt like I was shooting marshmallows. So this star power can actually be really strong and can save you in so many different situations. So for me, it has to be one of the best star powers in the game. So moving into it, another really strong star power, especially with a meta brawler, it is Ash and his first batch star power. So this star power for me is essential to his kit. It allows him just to rage up so much quicker. So with his first attack, he will get an additional 200% rage, which again will just help him out a lot. It's always pretty hard to first get that initial kind of rage cycle going, so the star power will really help, especially if you're an accomplished Ash as well. You're basically going to be fully raged all the time with his star power, so it's definitely really strong and a must-have for Ash. So now moving into the next star power, which has always been really strong in the meta, it is Carl with Protective Pirouette. So I think I mentioned this last time around, but I just think it's so essential with how you play Carl. You definitely need it. A 35% shield when you super, it makes him from somewhat, I wouldn't really say squishy brawler, but especially when you start to go in with your super or your flying hook, you know, you're pretty vulnerable a lot of the time. So Protective Pirouette is really going to help you out in those 1v1s. You know, you pair this also with the damage star power, you're going to be dealing so much damage with that super whilst protected by that star power as well. So it's just so needed, and Carl is still really strong in the meta, so this star power just bodes so well with him. So now moving on to the next best star power, we have Grom star power X Factor. So even with multiple nerfs within the past few months with Grom, I still feel like he's one of the best brawlers in the game right now, especially with Unbreakable Walls, and X Factor is the main reason. So I don't know about you, but the way I play Grom is I always aim to hit them when the X Factor is in full effect. So of course that maximum range, you're going to get the maximum damage, and of course the X Factor is really going to help him out with the damage nerfs he's received. You pair this as well with the damage gear, he's still going to deal a lot of damage. You know, I've still been dealing 2.4k damage per shot every single time with Grom when the damage gear and X Factor is popped, and of course it's really going to help him out just in the game modes that he already dominates on. So in bounty and knockout, he's still going to be really dangerous because a couple of shots can nearly two-shot a lot of brawlers in the game. So moving into the next star power, which is definitely essential, especially for a meta brawler, it is Sam's star power, Hearty Recovery. So Heart Recovery has always been one of the best star powers in the game, even since its nerf. 20% of your missing HP, it's definitely needed. So whenever I watch a pro Sam, he's just going to be throwing his super against the wall as much as possible. You get that speed boost, you get that additional HP back. It's just so strong. A lot of times they're not really even in combat, they're just spamming super against the wall 24/7. So of course this star power is just going to get so much value. It has to be one of the best star powers in the game. So next up we have a brawler which is making a huge comeback in the meta, and it's actually really underrated, and for that reason I'm having to highlight her star power because I feel like that is the main reason why she's used so often. So Lola, without her star power, without a damage gate activator or anything, she just deals 390 damage per shot, which is okay. But when you combine her star power, which will increase damage when she has one ammo left by 30%, and also the damage gate active, she deals 583 damage per shot, which is just insane. Lola can just shred through everyone, and as I said, she's definitely making more of a comeback in a lot of different game modes and maps now, and she's just so strong, mainly because of his star power. Because I feel like with Lola, the way you play her, you actually have one piece of ammo left quite a lot of the time, so you're going to get a lot of value out of his star power. And lastly, moving on to the final star power, which I think definitely needs to be highlighted, is Max's star power called Supercharge. So this star power will passively charge Max's super. The main reason why this is so strong is because of course it is passive, so you don't need to deal any damage. Over time you will just accumulate your super, and of course it's really good on those defensive maps, but it just allows you to get multiple, well, way more supers per game. Probably like a couple more supers per game, which of course can completely change the tide of the game. And for me, it's definitely needed with Max. Of course, you could have some other star powers in here as well, by the way, you know, like Otis's star power and also Chess's star power, but I feel like everyone knows about these. But Supercharge for me is still underrated, so that's why I've had to highlight it. Alright guys, gonna be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. So as I mentioned in the intro, just need as many suggestions as possible for videos, because of course I just want to give you guys the videos that you want to see. Also tier list tomorrow, but if there's any other tier lists as well that you want me to do, whether that's what I've done star power and gadgets, but you get what I mean, whether it's like game mode, whether you want me just to do like the best counters for all brawlers, you know, there's a lot of ideas that I want to put together, but I just want to know where you guys are at. Like, are you really struggling with coins still? Do you want to know where to spend your coins and or just farm them the best? You know, those kind of things. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed this one. Also, let me know your best 10 star powers in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.